Okay guys, so we're going to take a look at creating exponential equations. That's learning target 3A from unit 5 of exponential equations. Let's do a couple of practice problems together and then you'll go ahead and work on the practice on your own. I have an example of this here and I have an example, the actual practice key here on this website, so that's where you can find them. A scientist is trying to discover a cure for the common cold. She takes common cold cells and discovers that the cells are growing each minute. The table below shows the number of cells as time passes by. So here's our first row, and that's our minutes. And here is our second row, and that is the number of cells. So we need to write an exponential equation to show the number of cells available. C after minute, which is going to be represented by M. So if we remember initial value, our initial value is when x is 0, okay? So at time 0. So here is our 0, so our initial value is going to be 40, okay? To find your growth factor, you're going to take the value, the y value, so in year 1, so 120, and you're going to take that and you're going to divide it by that initial value of 40. Okay, so 120, I put it in my calculator, 120 divided by 40, that equals 3. So I have a growth factor of 3. Now to write that equation, I just put it all together, really. F of x equals 40 times 3, okay? And remember your parentheses around your growth factor, that just represents the multiplication, and then it's to the power of x. Now you could also write it as 40 times 3 to the power of x if you didn't want to use the parentheses. Either way is fine, okay? You can pause, kind of take a look at that one, play around with it a couple minutes. It's really up to you. The next one, Mrs. Robinson decides she needs to buy a minivan in preparation for the new baby. She purchases the van for $40,000. Each year, the van's value decreases. So here is our X row and our Y row. Each number up here represents year and time. This is the value of the vehicle after each year. So write an exponential equation to show the value of the car V after year T. So our initial value is always, okay, when x is 0, what's our value? And that's going to be that 40,000. Okay. Your growth factor, same thing that we did last time. We're going to take our year 1 value, so 30,000, and we're going to divide it by 40,000. Okay. We want to go ahead and put this in your calculator. So clear out what you had before. 30,000 divide by 40,000, and that's going to be 0.75. Okay. Now you just write your equation. So it's going to be f of x equals 40,000 times 0.75, and then to the power of t or x right there for that year, okay? Up here we can change that and actually just write it to the power of m, because that's what you're representing your m is by minutes, okay? You can have an x in this spot right here for t, or you can have that variable that they tell you to choose. It's up to you. All right. Go ahead and practice, and then check your practice at the tiny URL. Thanks.